You ever stop and think about how your own mind is what really decides if you win or lose? I mean, what if you could train it, right? Train your thoughts, get a handle on your fears, and focus so hard that the biggest challenges out there start to look, well, small. So let's just dive right in and explore this whole idea together, how to train your mind to conquer your world. The material we're digging into today really boils everything down to this one powerful idea. Your mind is your real world. It sounds so simple, doesn't it? But that's the core principle we're going to unpack. This idea that everything, we're talking success, failure, happiness, all of it, it all starts right here, inside your head. Okay, so here's the game plan. First, we'll get into the true power of your mind. Then, we'll see how your thoughts actually create your reality. After that, we're jumping into some real practical exercises. We'll cover how to face challenges head on, and then we'll wrap it all up by showing how this gives you guessed it, control over your own life.
All right, let's get into our first section. The argument here is that we need a huge shift in how we think. We need to stop seeing our mind as just some tool and start seeing it for what it is, the entire arena. It's the battlefield where every single victory is won or lost, way before anything happens out in the real world.
Now, what's so cool about this is that it's not just about learning some facts. It's more like an action manual, a strategic plan to turn your mind into your greatest weapon. Because let's face it, every decision, every move you make, and everything that happens to you, it all comes down to how much control you have over your own mind. So that brings us right to section 2, which really builds on that idea. And this is the foundational principle of this whole thing. The idea that your world on the outside, your career, your relationships, your bank account, is really just a mirror, a direct reflection of your thoughts on the inside. And check this out, this slide just breaks it down perfectly. It's like a chain reaction in 4 simple steps. It all kicks off with a single thought. That thought sparks a feeling, right? And that feeling pushes you to take an action. And, well, that action gets you a result. So think about it. If your first thought is something negative, like, oh, I can't do this, the feeling is probably fear. The action is putting it off. And the result? Yeah, failure. It's a clear path. And look at this side by side. It's so clear. Positive thoughts literally give you more energy and open you up to new ideas. But negative thoughts, they do the exact opposite. They just drain your motivation and make you afraid to even try. So the main takeaway here is pretty simple. The quality of your thoughts is going to directly determine the quality of your life, period. Okay, so now we get why this is so important. Let's talk about the how. This section is all about the practical stuff, the toolkit, the actual mental exercises you can do to build a strong, disciplined mind. This is where we go from theory to action. So the first tool we've got is the positive affirmation. And let's be real, this isn't just wishful thinking. The source talks about this as a real technique for basically reprogramming your brain's default settings by constantly feeding it new, powerful instructions. And you can start right away with simple, strong statements, just like these. I am capable. I can face any challenge. But just saying them once won't cut it. You've got to repeat them, especially when you wake up or right before you go to sleep, to really let them sink in.
And this is exactly why it works. The whole point is that repetition is what drills these ideas deep into your subconscious mind. And once they're lodged in there, they start to automatically shape your decisions, your confidence, and what you do, without you even having to think about it. But hey, affirmations are just one piece of the puzzle. There's a whole toolkit here. We're talking about visualization to make your goals feel totally real, meditation to get that laser-like focus, keeping a thought diary to spot and fight off those negative patterns, and setting SMART goals to give your mind a clear target to aim for. Put it all together, and you've got a seriously powerful system. Now, having the tools is great, but using them when you're under pressure, that's a whole other ballgame. This next part is all about putting that mental training to the test when things go sideways, building that real-world resilience and self-control. So let me ask you something we've all been through. What happens when your plan just completely falls apart? How you react in that very moment says everything about where your mental training is at. And this slide just lays it out so perfectly. The untrained mind reacts. It points fingers, gets mad, and sees failure as a total dead end. But the trained mind, it responds. It takes a step back, evaluates, looks for other options, and, this is huge, it sees failure not as the end, but as super valuable feedback for the next try. So here's the absolute key. Mental resilience isn't some superpower where you never feel disappointed or frustrated. Of course you will. It's about having the ability to feel all of that, but still control your reaction and keep moving forward effectively anyway. It's all about control, not pretending the feelings aren't there. So let's bring this all home. All of these ideas, controlling your thoughts, using the exercises, building resilience, they all lead to one final destination, achieving what we can call mental excellence, which is the absolute key to having real control over your life. And I really can't say this enough. Trying it once or twice is useless. Real mastery, real control, doesn't come from one intense meditation session or one day of positive thinking. It's all about the daily grind, the disciplined and consistent practice of these mental exercises. It has to be a lifestyle, not some quick fix. If you walk away with just one single thing today, let it be this. When you achieve mental excellence, when your mind is trained, disciplined, and focused, that right there is real power. That is true control over your destiny, because you finally control the one thing that actually creates it, your mind. So, this all brings us to the final and honestly the most important question. It's not about what you've learned here. It's about what you're going to do with it. The information is all laid out, the tools are on the table, so the only question left is, how are you going to start training your mind today?